Before we get started with today's game hunting journey, I just want to let you know that I need your help. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2023, and I can't do that without your help. So we wanted to make this a little more interesting. We're coming up pretty close to the 150th episode of the Bargain Game Hunter, and I figure what better way to celebrate such a milestone than to hit 1,000 subscribers before we hit 150. So, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, let your friends know about this cool, hip, new game hunting channel that you just stumbled across. And if we can hit 1,000 subscribers before we hit 150 episodes of the Bargain Game Hunter, we're going to do a pretty epic giveaway episode where I will go out game hunting and find games specifically to give to the community. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button. Encourage your friends to do so. Let's get back to game hunting for another episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. I bought a video game from the Home Shopping Network. Find out more after this. Hello everybody and welcome to a kind of quick episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. This is of course the show where I go video game hunting at pawn shops, thrift shops, online, anywhere I can find video games, and I share that game hunting journey with you. This is going to be a very quick episode because we are immediately at the recap, and the reason why is because I never bothered to film little clips from when I got all of these games. I just kind of let them pile up until I got them all, and then I'm like, you know what? I think that's it for this episode. Let's just do a quick and dirty one. So this one's kind of fun because I bought all these games from pretty wildly different retailers, and we got some good stuff here. Let's just put it that way. So we're going to start off with GameStop. So GameStop, of course, I buy games from them all the time. They do sales all the time, and they were doing some pretty decent sales on a number of pretty high-profile games that came out fairly recently. And they were cheap enough where I decided, you know what, let's pull the trigger. So I got two games that came out recently that looked intriguing, so I figured I'd get them and add them to my collection. Now these are GameStop new, so they sealed them in a bag, but it is the last copy, and it does have a sticker seal as well. So at least they are kind of sealed, but not really. First up, we have Wild Hearts on the Xbox Series X. So this is a Souls-like game made by Koei Tecmo. I think it's the same team who did, like, Nioh, I think. That might be, yeah, I think it's Nioh. It looks intriguing. Looks kind of weird. I've heard good things about it. So I figured, you know what, I'll give it a shot. It was only $40, so pretty good price for a game that came out like only a few months ago. I paid $40, and this one is actually worth $55. So pretty solid little bump up there. And that's just the beginning. Next up, another game that I've heard really good things about. Corey has it, he's played it, he likes it, he hasn't finished it, but I liked what I saw when he was playing it, so I figured, you know what, I'll get a physical copy for my collection, and that is Like a Dragon Ishin on the Xbox Series X. This is a game that came out, I believe, on the PS3 a number of years ago. There's remastered and then ported to current gen. It also never arrived in the West until now. This is the first time this game has appeared in the West, so figured I'd snag it. It looks pretty cool. It's in the Yakuza series, which has been renamed Like a Dragon. So sounds pretty cool. Paid $40, and this one is worth $52. So again, decent sized bump up there. Now we're gonna go to Amazon, and I picked up a couple games here. One of which I got because it was just too good of a price not to. The other one is a new release game which I pre-ordered. It looks interesting, and after watching MC Murr's review, I'm very intrigued by it, so I might check it out sooner than later. But we're going to start off with the one that I got for dirt cheap, and that is the Star Wars Jedi Knight collection on the PS4. So I originally intended to get both the collections, the one with this one and then the one with Racer and Republic Commando on the Switch. But this one was on sale on Amazon for $10. And that's the perfect sweet spot. I do have Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, I believe, on the Switch. I don't think I have Jedi Outcast currently, so I can play both of these on one disc on my PS5, which is pretty dope. Yes, as you can see, it's open. That's because the disc was loose when I got it, unfortunately. But, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I wasn't planning on keeping this game sealed anyway. So, I paid $10 for this, and it is actually worth $23. So, another really solid bump up in value. Then comes the next new game. And this is probably not a game most people have heard of, but it sounded interesting. And I'm like, sure, why not? We have Monster Menu, the Scavenger's Cookbook on the PS5. This is the deluxe edition. It's a JRPG. Apparently it's got some tactical elements. And you have to like feed your party members. You have to make sure that they eat, they sleep. So there's definitely some interesting like twists on the regular JRPG formula. It sounds cool. I'm excited to try it out. It just had a cool, colorful art style and looked like a fun game, so I figured, yeah, might as well give it a shot. Paid $50. This one is actually worth $50 because it just came out literally this week. Now we go to VGP. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know the VGP is kind of becoming my go-to online store when it comes to finding rare and difficult to come by games. I've especially been going there when I'm looking for a limited run or games that are way too expensive that just randomly get reprints. I got one of each of those today. So they were doing a reprint run on this one game on the Switch that was incredibly expensive, especially for the normal version. But they did a reprint of it. And of course I wanted to hit the threshold to get free shipping, so I had to pick out another game. So I went through Limited Runs catalog and found a game that sounded pretty interesting. So I got both of them. And they finally came in after a couple months. And I'm excited to check them both out. So we're going to start off with Haven on the PS5. This game sounds really interesting. It's about a couple who travels to this alien planet and like you control both characters at the same time. It's apparently you can play it co-op, but the idea is you're playing as both of them together, and you're like timing everything perfectly in sync. It sounds really interesting, and it is a limited run game on the PS5, so I'm excited to check it out. This one I paid $47, and this one's actually worth a very nice $69. This one has some really good value. Sealed, so I do want to play it, but I might have to keep it sealed for a little bit. And then this is the big one, and this one is one of my most expensive games in my collection now. It looks really cool. The art style looks phenomenal. Apparently it's really good, and I'm excited to have it. Again, this is one of those cases where I probably won't open it right away because it's worth so much, but it's going to be kind of hard not to. We'll see how I feel. The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince on the Switch. This is a really cool looking hand-drawn action platformer, I think is what it is. It looks super unique. This game at one point was going for like $250 for the standard copy. Now, thankfully, VGP got a reprint, so they re-released it. It's not worth as much, but even then, at the moment, it is still worth $115. So this game is still very expensive. I only paid $33 for it because it was in Canadian dollars and, you know, conversion rate. But I only paid $33 for this, and it's worth $115. So that's pretty darn good. So add that to the collection. Now, the story I'm sure you've all been waiting for, and that is, yes, I bought a game on the Home Shopping Network. So if you are not aware about the Home Shopping Network, it used to be a channel, and I think it still is technically a channel, where you can go on and basically just watch a bunch of infomercials of people trying to sell you these products that are going to do everything for you. It was definitely something that appealed more in like the 80s and the 90s. But they have a website, and they had an interesting deal where if it was your first time buying anything, you could get a $20 discount. So I went through the video game section, and I found a game that I've never heard of before that looks pretty cool. Interestingly enough, it sounds similar to a different game that I got today, but it's different. And that is Snack World, the Dungeon Crawl Gold on the Switch. It looks like a JRPG action-adventure game. Sounds pretty cool. It's made by Level 5. Same guys who made like Professor Layton and Ni no Kuni. Sounded cool. I didn't know much about this game. I've never heard of it before, so I thought it might have some decent value. I was wrong. So I paid $40 for this, and it's actually worth $23. So took a pretty hefty hit on that, but I've never heard of it before. I've never seen it before. So even though it might not be worth as much as what I paid, I think it's kind of cool, the fact that I have it in my collection now. So yeah, that's it. Kind of weird that, yeah, we just immediately went to the recap, and that's it. But that's how it is right now. But we got some cool games from a bunch of different sources, and I think they're all very worthy additions to my gaming collection. So yeah, pretty excited. And that's going to do it for this short but sweet episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell. That way you know when new videos drop. Of course, we drop new episodes every Friday as long as I've got them, and I haven't run out yet. And as, of course, like the intro says, we are still aiming for hitting 1,000 before we hit episode 150. We're getting pretty close to both. We just skyrocketed to 700 subscribers as of the time of this recording. So if we can keep that momentum going, we'll hit 1,000 quite a bit sooner than we hit 150, which is awesome. And of course, if that happens, like I said, we will do an entire episode where I go game hunting, and everything I pick up is for a giveaway that I'll be sending to one of my lucky viewers. So it should be pretty awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Bye-bye.